Welcome to Vlog Radio. You're listening and watching Vic Talk Show. And this is your friend Vic. Today, finally, I'm first time presenting the video documentary in front of you. And I'm going to talk about the situation of coronavirus, which is actually terrifying the entire world. You will get more news from news channel. I'm just bringing you positive views so that in future, whenever you watch any news, you get any information, or even you heard any kind of rumor, you can understand the fact what's going on around you. We will actually focusing what is the situation of Asian countries now, as the birth of coronavirus disease started from China, part of Asia. So let's see what is the situation from China to all other Asian countries, which is considerable in this list. We will try to consider top 5 countries of Asia so that we can understand what exactly is going in Asia right now. Let's start with the global scenario. What is the situation in worldwide coronavirus cases? So we're going to check this information through one of the reliable World Info website, which is actually getting update through World Health Organization. So let's take a look what exactly the report says. So please pay attention the numbers which is coming up on your screen now. Currently, March 26, 2020, coronavirus cases are 468,499 across the world, 21,185 deaths, and recovered 113,812. What we have to do, actually, we have to look at this number, which is almost 470,000, and we look at this number, which is actually 5% of total this number. That means definitely we can scare by this number, but this number is nothing in front of many other disease which people have suffered or struggled or died before. Now looking at the recovery status, so if we deduct this recovered number from this, the rest should change that. Let's take a look on this actually. So total cases closed till day is 134,997. We can say 135,000 total cases which had an outcome, and this outcome is 113,812, which is 84% of total patients from the beginning till closing. So 16% were total death, which is 21,185. Important to see now, which is current scenario, is active cases, because these cases have been closed with their final news. Now these active cases have 333,502, and 96% are mild condition patients. That means most of the patients will be going back to their home. And 14,897, which is 4%, are in serious or critical condition. This number can reduce if doctors best efforts and we find some kind of solutions. So this number is maximum 4%, and it can go down as well. Let's take a look what is current situation worldwide actually. So as we already know, China is actually on number 1 position with 81,218 total cases. Now if we go down and look at these numbers, we will not see Asian countries most of the time. We will see mostly the European countries or other Western countries, Canada, American countries, we can say. So most of these countries are actually Western countries, Europe and American continental countries. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually count the Asian countries. But before we move to Asian countries, we have to understand one biggest fact. The biggest fact is this, that globally those people who are dying are 80 above. That means 22% people are dying 80 above age. So they were already in critical health or age condition where the chances of their survival are least. Same is happening with 70 plus patients are 8%. So we can say actually 22 plus 8, 30%. 30% patients above age 70 died under coronavirus cases treatment. So those who are below 70, let's say 50 to 70, they make around about 5% number. So these 5% are actually 50 to 70 age. Now going down a little more and try to understand that these numbers are very least. So people below 40 are actually less on risk. They are very least on the risk, And if we see this risk is only 0.2%, which is 20 people among 1,000. So somehow whatever numbers you see, you have to understand these people already had very critical conditions. Now let's see another factor, that total death ratio is only 3.5% globally. Mortality rate, which is the patients died. So we should not understand that entire world is dying. Most of these patients are above age 50 or 70, and among those, the most numbers are actually coming on to 3.5% only. Let's come to the conclusion about Asia. And in Asia, here's the figures. Coming with China. China currently have total 81,218 cases. Among that, 3,281 deaths are covered, and recovered patients are 73,650. So in the beginning, you can say when they had total 77,000 patients approximately, 74,000 patients, which is 94%, were already recovered and discharged and sent back home. Now the total death was only 4%, which was very good ratio, as government decided and did their best for their citizens. Other side, we can say active cases, then 67% patients are still in mild condition and 33% patients are in critical condition. But as I said, China is doing pretty well. Let's move to another country which is from Asia as a second, but being Islamic country near to Middle East. Iran have total 27,017 cases. Among those, only 2,077 deaths and recovery 9,625. That means in the beginning days they had 11,702 patients and recovered cases 82%, deaths 18%. That was in the beginning scenario when the cases started. Now the cases are closed. The new active cases situation, if we will take a look, we will see 15,315 are actually new cases, and among all of them are in mild condition. Nobody is in critical condition or crucial situation. So most of them will be here and the cases will be closed. So finally, Iran is back on their track. Moving to next one, South Korea. This country have done very well for their citizen, and the people also did very well for their country to reduce the risk of their death. Coronavirus cases 9,137, total death 126, recovered 3,730. Now, the closed cases, if we see, they had total 3,856 and recovered 97%, and total death only 3%. Now, over here in active cases, look at this number, 5,281. 99% cases are mild conditions, so most of them will be back home. Few of them, which is 1%, around 59 patients, are still in critical condition, and we hope they will be going back home as well. Going next forward, Malaysia. Malaysia is also pretty well doing in comparison to the beginning, and now we'll take a look that they had total 1,796, so 1,796 patients, total death 20 and recovered 200 approximately. In the beginning, the ratio was 91% recovered and only 20%, which is 9% approximately, was death. But now the situation is little better. They have total 1,577 cases, 96% mild, which is going back to home, and 4% are critical, which can reduce or remain same. So this is the case in Malaysia. Moving next to Indonesia. In Indonesia, people are panicking that their government is not doing well, they're not prepared. Yes, this is something which most of the countries were not prepared. And coronavirus total cases in this country with 270 million population, the highest number in Southeast Asia. They have 790 cases, 58 deaths, and 31 recovery. This is something which happened in the beginning as they were not prepared. So among 89 new patients, they had 31 recovered, 58 deaths, which is 65% loss. But now they are doing pretty well. Look at this number, total 701 infected patients, and all of them are in mild condition. So there's nothing to be worried about for Indonesian people, as there is no critical condition and new patients are coming in their numbers. Moving to the final one, which is actually Philippines. And Philippines have a very special corner in my heart. But I just want to tell them, God is blessing you. You are doing pretty well. Just be safe and take care of your elders, pregnant women, and those people who are having critical condition. Total cases 636. Pretty good. 110 million population country, 636 and 38 deaths. Recovered 26. In the beginning days when it was closed cases till now, they have 64 and total death were 38 and it was 59%, which was really shocking in the beginning. That's why people were panicking. But total 41% was recovered. Current situation is pretty nice. Look at this number. The number shows that currently infected patients 571 and only one patient in critical serious condition. So most of these patients are good, so 100% condition recovery. Overall, Philippines is really doing pretty well and we should be happy. We should be possibly recovering our country, our culture and lifestyle. So all of us should be right on the corner of our normal life. What I'm trying to say that currently the situation in Asia is definitely bad, but it is definitely getting better and better in comparison to European or other countries. I'm going to talk about now remaining Asian countries if you want to take us a small look. So let's take a look on global scenario, where exactly the remaining other Asian countries are standing. As I said that I'm covering most of the major countries of Asia, so I already covered. You will rarely find any other Asian countries in this list up to India and Philippines. So the last number was actually India and Philippines. Now India, I couldn't count it because in this situation, they are having very least number in comparison to other countries, whereas India have 1.3 billion population, and among them they have total 657 cases and total 12 deaths, including the recent one 2 deaths as well. Philippines, I already told you. Singapore is doing pretty well. There is no death so far in new one and they're already doing pretty well. If we see other countries, then we will not find any other Asian country having any critical condition. Like Hong Kong, they have 410 total number of patients, 4 already died and still they're doing pretty well. Same going to other remaining numbers. And that's what I'm trying to say, that Asian countries do not need to panic. Asian people do not need to panic. Situation is really doing pretty well. So we are so good so far, so nicely going. We have done our best, and looking at all of these numbers, we can definitely feel that we are on the edge of the panic. And in this situation, I believe that we all will be going recover our life once again. We will back on the track the way we were before actually. So this was total situation in Asia, and what I really want to tell everyone over here is that situation is not that much panicable. The only thing is that we are not understanding the facts. What those facts are, let me tell you. So as I told you before already, that most of the cases are age above 60, 70 or 80. And most of these countries who had these cases are now recovering better. The only problem is for European country. Now in Asian country or around the world, what we need to be careful about, most of the cases are actually senior citizens. So we need to take care of our old senior citizen people around us, whether they are family member, neighbors or relatives or whoever we see. This is our duty to take care of them if they need our help. We also need to support or take care especially to those people who have serious critical disease condition, like any kind of those disease which doctors recommended before them to be careful about. Coronavirus actually take advantage of that and it can hit them as well. Third is most important, those women who are pregnant need to be very careful with their newborn or with their pregnancy, to be careful related to coronavirus infection. This is the total 3 people who need to be very careful. Youngsters below age 40, they need to relax, don't need to panic. Once the situation get normal, they are the most safest people who can go back to in their normal life and get back on the work, get back on the financial situation to take care of their family and other responsibilities. So in today's episode, this was my conclusion for Asia. Next episode will be related to Europe, and we're gonna discuss how worse Europe is going through, so that we need to pray for them and need to see how good our prayers will work. This is all about my first video documentary. I hope you like it. If you like it, then please press thumbs up, share with as many as people needed, so that all they get aware of the situation, to understand the situation and do not panic, and be ready to have your life back again on the track. And I wish all of you to be careful, peaceful and calm.